At that point, we were up above the timber line. And we bailed on the trip. We like back out. We're just like, we didn't have snow here. It was Labor Day weekend. You know, it's crazy.
That's wild. Yeah, that's.
Jack, just checking with 4 members here. Do we have a quorum? It's 3:30 and I'm going to call this meeting to order. Jack, would you please do roll call?
Absolutely. And we'll go with Committee Member Trejo Vasquez,
Here.
Committee Member Peters,
Here.
Vice Chair Keever,
Here.
and Chair Nathanson.
Present.
Let the record reflect that all committee members are present with the exception of Committee Member Puentes.
Great. Welcome, everybody, to the September 8th, 2025 meeting of the Art and Public Places Committee. And I'd like to, we will do this officially, but informally welcome our new member, Lauren Peters. Hey. No one is participating remotely. And so we will move on to agenda item number 4. Staff, are there any modifications to the agenda?
No modifications.
Great, thank you. Public comments. This is a time when any person may address matters not listed on this agenda. And just want to make sure that your comments are within the subject matter of the jurisdiction. And if you are commenting on an agenda item, please wait until that item is called. If it's not on the agenda, you have 3 minutes now to speak. Public comments?
Yes, right.
Okay.
Hi,
Welcome.
Janice Carmen here, and I'm just here today to keep hearing about the Asawa. I want to be sure it stays in the narrative in Santa Rosa. And I see Meredith occasionally, and I just want to keep hearing that it's moving forward and that it's actually going to happen. Unfortunately, I was at a meeting that everyone was very creative and other things were going on, and we were going to be talking about making a big change in Santa Rosa. And someone asked, is there any funding for this project? And the answer was no. So I went, ah. So it wasn't this project that I'm quoting somebody at another meeting. So I want to be sure that the Asawa is moving forward. And that's why I'm here today, is to hear the report on that and everything else that you're doing, because I know you have a lot of things on the agenda, but I've sort of focused on the Asawa because I think it's real important and I hope it happens.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, any other public comments? Great, moving right along, department reports. Meredith, do you have a report?
Yes, I would like to officially welcome Lauren Peters to the Art and Public Places Committee. Lauren, would you be able to introduce yourself, a little bit about you to the committee and those that would be watching?
Sure. Yes, thank you so much. I'm excited to be a part of the committee. I work at the Luther Burbank Center for the Arts. My background is in museum studies. I've worked in the museum field for many years and now working in performing arts. So I'm very excited to be a part of the committee. I also do leadership Santa Rosa, so involved in many other community areas.
Great, welcome, Lauren.
Welcome.
Welcome,
Excited to
Lauren.
have you
Yeah.
here.
Good to see you.
Great team.
Why don't we do a quick introduction for all of us? I'm the chair, Jeff Nathanson, and we've known each other quite a few years, so it's great to see you. Welcome.
Kristen Kiefer, Vice Chair. I've gotten to know you through YIMBY, which it's great to see you on another board and involved in the community.
I'm Lisa. I've been on this committee for many years, and I work at the JC, and I don't think I have met you yet, but I'm glad you're here, and it sounds like everybody knows you, and so that's great. And we're all in our world somewhere in here, and so it's great. It's good to see you.
I'm
glad you-
Nancy. I work for Burbank Housing. I think I've been on the committee like 4 months-ish. And I don't work in art, but I grew up playing the violin and the piano. So I'm more of the musical. I like more the musical stuff. but-
Music's an art.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Disqualified.
You are an artist.
Thank you.
Okay, Meredith, any other reports?
That was it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item number 7, approval of minutes. Committee members, have you read the minutes?
Yes.
Okay, are there any additions or corrections?
None at this time.
Okay, thank you. Let's may the minutes reflect that the minutes are approved as submitted. Okay, number 8, scheduled items. Item 8.1, West End Mural Project. Do we have a report?
Yes.
Great.
1 second here. Anna's going to be presenting. She's a community engagement manager here at the city on
great.
a CAD grant potential
Welcome.
recipient. Do you want to come over here and scroll through it?
Can we make a little bit bigger, or I guess that's it. Well, go from here. See if we like.
Let's see.
Good afternoon, Art in Public Places Committee. My name is Ana Horta. I'm the Community Engagement Manager for the City of Santa Rosa and the Staff Liaison for the Community Advisory Board. The Community Advisory Board is another board like yours that has the goal to connect the community with city government. We have 7 members. Each member belongs to a district and they get proposed by their council member. The Community Advisory Board is in charge of approving the community improvement grants. The community improvement grants are grants that the city has for community members and neighborhood groups that want to create spaces that gather community, that foster community building, pride, celebrates culture, diversity, and the grants come to the Community Advisory Board, they review it, and once they get reviewed, they get approved for a certain amount of money, it's about $2,500, to go ahead and do their project. This particular grant, the West Avenue mural, came to the Community Advisory Board back in May because these are murals, and they're on private property, but they're using city money, needs to be approved by your committee. Therefore, I'm here to present this. The murals are a result of the community wanting to cover graffiti that was tagged on 2 fences. And I'll show you on the map. These are the 2 fences in this area, one here and one here. So one creative idea is to utilize city funds to cover the graffiti with art. The graffitis are in areas that are notably underserved communities. In fact, the community needed support from city staff to complete this application because they didn't have access to a computer. They had to go to a city library to complete this application. So for them, it has been a process and it took a lot to get this done. They are proposing 2 designs. I also want to mention that the neighborhood groups are gonna utilize the fund and also involve Shepherd School students to paint the murals and to maintain the murals. Let me go to the design. This is one of the designs that they have proposed. And is, like I mentioned, 2 properties. And this is the other one. With them, they wanted to reflect the wine country part of our inheritance, part of our culture here. But also on the top one, you see, the bus driver, the bus to Roseland, the Rose and things like that. So they are gonna have assistance from volunteer work. The grant is the matching fund. So if they request 2,500, they need to come up with 2,500. So the part of what they're using to match the funds is volunteer work. Yeah, I don't know if you have any questions.
Yes, I do. Can I ask, go ahead and ask questions? Okay. My first question is on the Roseland, that is gonna stay black and white?
I believe so.
Okay. And I like the relevance there, definitely. Someone who has grown up in that area, the number 12 bus, all of that, everything that's, has some significance in there and can be relatable. I kind of do have a question of the Sonoma County and the trucks and stuff. I saw you explained the relevance and how people, this is, they're working and, in the vineyards and stuff. But the trucks and the vineyards, when I first saw this and trying to relate it to Roseland and stuff, because it might be someone that is somewhere that they work or something, but it wasn't really that area where there's vineyards or even trucks like that go through that area or anything like that that's relative to that area if you didn't leave that area. So that was my only, I'm a little bit hesitant on that design, but the first design, I back that 100%.
So was there a lead artist who came up with the design?
The lead artist
I missed
is,
that.
his name is Daniel.
It was outlined in the attachment at the top, I believe,
Yeah.
the name of the artist.
It was on the
Okay,
first
And because
page.
he
of
was,
this,
he was a
yeah.
former resident of.
Correct.
Yes,
Let's see, she,
Let me see, go to the top.
I read.
Daniel Sandoval.
Yeah. Daniel
Yes.
Sandoval.
And I called
His tag name is
the,
Youngblood.
Got it.
so the two people that submitted this application are the owners of the properties that have
Oh, okay.
also collected signatures
Oh,
in support of the murals. So I called them to make sure they're happy with the designs, and they said they are. I just want to let you know that
yeah.
there was a common agreement among them that this is what they would like. But they also aware that the grant funding, it's pending on your approval.
So there are two locations,
Correct.
two fences, and is there a thought about which design would go on which one? Or is that really the discussion before our committee today?
The discussion's approval of the design, because it's private property, then they would end up deciding.
So we don't have,
Yeah, and I think it's important to recognize that this is private property, essentially a private commission.
Mhm.
It does receive funding through the city, so the real question for us is whether we're approving the expenditure for a community mural.
Mhm.
And it's a little bit out of our purview because we didn't go through an RFP process and have.
This is through, this is through the CAB
Yeah.
grant, they're receiving funding. So any mural that's city funded does need to come to your attention for the design. But it's not public art funds. So if it was
Right.
public art funds, and then because it's private property, it doesn't have to go through a competitive process.
Right,
Right.
which is, I guess, what I'm trying to get to is that it's not actually our job to artistically
Yeah.
review the work, I guess. Unless there was something really offensive that we think just shouldn't be on view to the public. I think that's my feeling about it. So if the imagery came out of the community and with the blessing and approval of the property owner, I'm hesitant to to question the choice, I guess, even though I kind of agree with you, Lisa.
Yeah,
It's kind of.
you make a
it's
good point,
Yeah,
and I do, that's
it's like,
true.
why trucks in Roseland?
Well,
But-
just the Sonoma County and the truck, yeah,
Yeah,
but I
But
understand.
what you can provide comments to them.
Okay,
Mhm.
That's something.
I think that's a valid comment. It's just a
Yes.
question. You know, we're trying to understand why the trucks are really relevant to Roseland.
mhm,
Yeah, in the first design, it's very,
Yeah,
it's very straightforward. This is Roseland.
yeah.
That
No,
would
I
be-
like that. It's great.
And I think it's great because it's similar to other murals that we have in the area, similar to ones in Petaluma. They have, I'm not sure if it's a similar artist, but I think of those murals down there and how vibrant and colorful they are and how those are very grabbing. So I was curious if this was to be black and white as well. I think it would be very striking in color, but
mhm.
I respect the property owner's decision if they want black and white. Really, it's what is the intended feeling that they want to give from the mural? Just thinking about it being across the street from an elementary school.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great opportunity for bright colors.
So if these are right here, the elementary school would be like right here.
Okay.
Okay. Any other comments or questions from the committee? Okay. Hearing none, I guess we take this to a vote.
Public comment.
Public comment. Thank you for reminding me. I forgot. Okay.
Thank you.
You have 3 minutes.
I agree with Lisa and you as well. And the lack of color does make a big statement, but there's a lack of feeling in the drawing. The drawing is very good drawing. It's the kind of drawing you do if you were making a, a house or something. But I was just talking this morning, I grew up on Summerfield Road, and we had to be very careful because the dairy was at the end of the road. It was a different place then. And we all knew the milk truck. There's no definition to the truck. It doesn't speak to me at all of the wine country. I was in the wine industry for 12 years, and I'm very disappointed in it. I would like to see 2 votes, 1 vote for one and 1 vote for the other. And I think this needs work. And I think there also needs to be some representational art in it of some people that are agitating and acting out and doing things within the framework of the picture. It just looks like a photo anybody could have taken anywhere practically. And it doesn't have any definition for me of anything related to Roseland. But the first one, I agree with you. I think it's a winner. I think it's very good. So.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, so
Okay.
do we have the opportunity to?
Yeah, let's
comment?
additional panel committee comments. Questions?
I was gonna say other iconic imagery that I think would be fun to include in a mural that's in Roseland, maybe some lowrider bikes. I know that the Taco
Yeah.
Tuesday culture has been very celebrated. I know that this is not on the path, but it would be very fun to incorporate some very relevant themes of what people are doing now.
I think,
Where 10 all that.
I think also they should have incorporated all the school mascots of all the Roseland schools.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Oh, yeah.
That's.
Because
I
there's
couldn't hear- I
5
couldn't hear
schools.
you.
The
The-
school mascots of all the
Oh,
Roseland schools.
okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think it's a tiger, a roadrunner, a knight, a
Mm.
ram, a bear. And then in the LC Allen, I don't know, a lobo.
That's right.
yeah. Well, that's a fun idea.
See, that's why we need younger perspectives here too. Just so, yes, definitely. That's, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, Meredith, can we divide this into 2 votes?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. Then I propose that that's what you do.
But also, like you said, it is someone's private property and they did get, and you said they did get neighbors' votes and everything on this.
Yes, that's what I called them to make sure that they agree with the design.
Mhm.
I also want to mention that property owners get charged penalty fee for not having the graffiti taken care of.
Oh, they do.
So
saying
right
that
now
they're
it's on
motivated.
hold. Right now it's on hold because they are showing that they're working towards something.
Got it.
But I want to remind you of that that's another issue, is that they're also having to pay or potentially having to pay a penalty fee for not taking care of that graffiti.
Interesting. And,
But if it was put on us of asking them for something different, does that still, does that penalty still proceed?
I believe that it won't because you are, it's waiting on us to
Okay,
give them an answer in the city.
okay. And Meredith, what is your recommendation if we wanted, kind of decided to ask for additional? Is that, but this is someone's private property and they're only asking us to approve this. Is this,
With APPC, you review and approve any mural that receives any city funding or is on city property. So you can approve one and then recommend that the other move forward with some suggested changes. Again, it's not public art funds and it is someone's private property. So I would leave that up to the committee on what they decide with that.
and just the amount of young kids, because it's Shepherd Elementary School, is that still kindergarten through fifth?
And then they have the high school
At Shepherd
Behind.
too?
behind Shepherd, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's right. So it's very busy with young kids, teenagers. Okay, and probably should be something relevant.
to their lives, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, to the culture. I
Yes.
think that these are really good comments. And just for clarification, in terms of community feedback, I'm not really familiar with how the Community Advisory Board works or how you get community input. So can you describe that a little bit, just so we know how the designs were developed and presented to the community and what kind of feedback that was?
Yes, absolutely. So there are two separate things. The community took it upon themselves to organize, bring these concepts together and ask around all their neighbors whether this was working or not for them. So that's kind of a separate, and they brought forward the community improvement grant proposal that I'm presenting to you. The community advisory board, what they do is review the proposals, the grants, and where they talk about the outreach that they did, how is this that this meets the bringing people together, unifying people, and then they decide whether they approve the funds or not. And the community advisory board also, if we have public meetings just like you do, so people can come to the meetings. And also the community advisory board members have sometimes office hours in the community for the community they serve. And that's another way to get community feedback.
Great, thank you for that. I want to remind committee members that we have to respect the process in doing community outreach. That's beyond our purview, but I appreciate your description of how it works.
And one note, we have been encouraging community members to look at creative ways with the graffiti issues in this neighborhood. So we have gone out there for meetings and suggested that murals with an anti-graffiti coating could be a good solution, also when involving other community members.
Great.
And the fact that I think they're private property, it's ultimately, I believe, up to the property owner to decide whether they want this design or this design. They have a lot of say in the process as well, because it's their property.
Could I possibly speak?
I think we had public comment. Are we allowed to? I think the
It's chair's discretion as to opening and closing public comment. As long as you do it once, then you're not required to open it again.
yeah.
I have comment on the community advisory board.
Okay, you're here and I appreciate you taking the time to
Sorry.
be here. So please go ahead.
Oh, okay, good, thank you. What she's saying about the Community Advisory Board, I sat through, I go to a lot of meetings, 9.5 hour days sometimes. And I've been really staying on it ever since last March or so. And we had a meeting a couple weeks ago, and I'm not going to name which meeting it was, but now I'm losing a train of thought because there are a lot.
And
It
this
has
does
to
have
do,
to
oh,
be
it has to do
relevant
with
to the
redesigning the
subject.
logo for Santa Rosa. And we lived through that, and they talked about charging to do the logos and what they were going to have on the
Okay.
walls.
Janice, this
How-
does have to
how
be
does this
relevant.
Relate to this particular
Okay, it
design?
relates to it because a neighborhood, I don't think, should be able to put up anything they want to do, because a certain group of people could put whatever they want up. And then there's not enough embracement by the larger community to be able to say what kinds of concepts they would really like to see on the wall. And you don't want it in a position where they're able to pay to do what they want to do, or say it's private property and do it. I'm thinking, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay,
So
thank you,
that's what I want to let be known.
thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we've heard a lot of questions and comments. Or any further discussion on the part of the committee? Okay, I would entertain a motion for the first design, which is the Roseland lettering with the artistic content within the lettering. Do I hear a motion to approve that design?
I so move.
Okay.
I second.
Okay, so we have a motion, Kristen moved and Lisa seconded to approve the Roseland mural design based on the Roseland lettering.
Yes.
Okay, any additional discussion, comments, questions? Hearing none. Oh, Kristen?
Just want to add on to that encouragement to add color from our committee.
Okay,
Yeah.
so is that an amendment to your motion to, approve that with the recommendation to add color?
Correct.
Okay,
And I second that.
okay, so, Jack, if you would record the motion to include a recommendation for color. Okay, let's take this to a vote.
Alrighty. Committee member Trejo Vasquez,
Yes.
committee member Puentes,
Yes.
committee member Peters,
Yes.
vice chair Kiefer,
Aye.
and chair Nathanson.
Yes,
All right, let the record reflect that that motion passes unanimously.
thank you. Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve the second design, which is including the trucks. Do I hear a motion to approve that design?
I could offer a different motion.
Okay, let's hear it.
I recommend a motion to approve the process, but to rethink the design in terms of maybe incorporating imagery that is more co-located to the Roseland neighborhood rather than Sonoma County wine pride. I'm not sure how to.
We could, I suppose, not vote on this and send instead a recommendation back that we are very interested in seeing this project move forward, but we have some artistic and content questions and recommendations. And we would be very interested in seeing an alternative proposal coming back to the committee.
But again, want to be very mindful of the city's statement that anti-graffiti concerns could be taken on with this proposal. We do want to see a mural in this location.
Yeah, I think that's clear.
Okay.
Do I have a staff recommendation of how we can proceed with these recommendations?
We
back
have a
to-
motion on the floor that Kristen made. She can retract that motion if she wishes, and then we can we could have a motion to continue that item to a date certain of October 6th, which would be our next scheduled meeting, at which time they can provide new.
I think that's an excellent recommendation. Kristen, would you like to reframe your motion as a motion to continue this particular item pending
Sure, I was.
pending a response to the committee's recommendations?
Sure, I think that's fine to word it like that. I was under the impression that we could approve one piece and then say on hold for the other one.
Right, and continuing to the next meeting is a way of putting that on
Okay,
hold.
so
Yeah,
so I would have to redo that for the
So
entire.
we had a motion that was seconded and passed, and then you made another motion that it said you wanted to approve the process, et cetera, et cetera. But if we want to, you can retract that motion and make a new motion that says that you would like to continue this item
Okay.
to a date certain of October 6th, at which time that second motion that can be, basically redone. We can revisit it. Thank you.
I would like to continue this item with certainty to the next meeting on October 6th.
Great.
Yes.
Okay, and
Like Lauren had a question.
yes. Oh, let's hear a second on Kristen's motion to continue the item to the next meeting.
I second.
Okay, and Lisa, thank you. It's been moved and seconded and now open for discussion. Lauren?
This, you can tell me I'm wrong if you need to at this point, I'm still learning, but I just want to ask, you said it was a bit of a hardship for them to do this. You said they had to go to use public computers and everything, and I do just want to point that out, that
Yeah.
this sounds like they did a lot of work, and while I don't also love the design, I just would like to point out that sounds like they have done the work and they are getting the buy-in from the community, and I just want to say that I worry that they have buy-in and they're doing the process they're supposed to do, and the hardship, and I don't feel like I can really speak to it necessarily because I don't live in Roseland. But I just wanted to
No, I
point
think
that out, that this might create more of a hardship on them to go back.
Thank you. I appreciate that perspective. Yeah, this is a tough one, you guys.
It is.
You know, it's evident there's been a process in place, and the design as presented is it's fairly
Yeah.
you know, the illustration is well done. It looks like there was a lot of work and thought put into it.
And the scale drawing on the fence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you put that up on the screen if I
Yeah.
have a chance?
Can you do that?
It is 7 of 8. It's, number 7 of 8.
And I would like to clarify that staff have been supporting them because we know that this hasn't been easy for them.
Yeah, and I don't think we want to be a roadblock to
No, we
progress here.
don't.
Do we know why they chose not to do it in color, or it's just preference of the property owner? I mean, I live in Roseland and I don't really want to see the trucks.
Yeah, and I remember I walked home from school every day from that area. So, and for me to see that every day walking home, I would not.
Yeah,
Like, I
you're
can
not,
Related at all.
but
to
you're not
that.
6-year-old boys who would love to see trucks.
But even at elementary, I would not have related to that in any way. Yeah.
I think this is your job as a committee, right? To review these art projects and in this case, you are providing the feedback that's needed, and we will be providing the support that's needed to, if you choose that you want to have this back on October 6th. So just want to say
Yeah,
that.
I think we all agree we'd like to see a revised proposal. And I think it's important to also let the community, let the Community Advisory Board and all the people involved that we have committee members who know Roseland very well. And it's not like there's nobody on this committee who doesn't know the neighborhood. You know, I think that that's Nancy and Lisa both have a really important perspective here. And I appreciate that. I think we all do.
Yeah, like I can get behind the vineyards and the grapes. But I don't,
Yeah.
I guess it's
It's gonna be
the
right
truckers
there.
moving the grapes from place to place. But
Yeah.
seeing as it's really trafficked by kids, maybe.
Yeah. that's
Or
so
maybe,
heavily
maybe
trafficked.
something gets added to the trucks, like there's a, you know, some kind of cool design or color that
Yeah.
is more a representation, so the trucks becomes like a, I don't know, almost like a billboard for something else. That could be kind of cool.
Could you tell us a little bit about the surrounding neighborhood? Is there sidewalks on either side of the
Yes,
street?
there's-
Okay.
Yes.
When I was there, there wasn't,
Okay.
but there is now.
And there is a bus station immediately next to this mural.
Mhm.
Okay, so that will be another, I mean, that's just what I'm conscious of is that, you know, it's not a sheltered bus stop, but it is just there's no, is there a bench or anything with it?
No.
No.
Yeah, but
Okay.
and then the park is right up here.
Okay.
The park is right up there, the elementary school is right over there.
So it's
Um,
pretty clear that this is a very public, visible location.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, I think we should wrap up discussion and take this to a vote. So the motion is to continue this item to the October 6th meeting and to deliver our comments and suggestions back to the Community Advisory Board. And we would appreciate seeing a revised proposal next month. Okay, let's vote.
Alrighty. Committee Member Trejo Vasquez,
Aye.
Committee Member Puentes,
Aye.
Committee Member Peters,
Aye.
Vice Chair Kiefer,
Aye.
Chair Nathanson.
Aye.
Let the record reflect that that motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, everybody. That was an important discussion, and Anna, thank you very much for being here.
Well, thank you so much for
Overall, I think we're really in support
Thank you, Anna.
of what you're doing.
Of course, this is part of the process.
Yeah, okay. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a good afternoon.
Okay. We are moving on to item 8.2, Art Strategic Plan Goals 4 and 5. Meredith?
Thank you. Oh, you can see it. Where's my present? Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So today I will be reviewing our goals 4 through 5 of our strategic plan. As you recall, last month's, or I think we had to skip last month's meeting. So 2 months ago, we reviewed goals 1 through 3. And today we'll wrap it up with goals 4 through 5. The strategic plan technically came to a close starting July 1 of this year. And the overall goal here is reviewing everything of what has been accomplished, what our roadblocks have been, what we want to see really moving forward, and then looking at bringing this forward to a master plan update altogether. And I'll also be working on more of an impact review report. We'll have to at some point beginning of next year. So again, this was through fiscal year 2021 through 2024. And this was put together in collaboration with city staff, members of APPC, issue experts, community leaders, et cetera. So we'll start with goal 4. The goal was a public art program and the Art and Public Places Committee are rightfully seen as positive and familiar and as key assets in and for the community. So today I'll review the action items, which I know are pretty robust. And then I'll go through goal 5, and then we can go back and review it together with discussion on all of these, I think would be best. Most of you were here, it's 3 of you before my time a year ago, right? So you may have some insights that I'm not aware of as I put forward this impact report that I'm putting together on things that have been accomplished. So the action items of goal 4 were to utilize existing communication tools within the city of Santa Rosa, to maximize our outreach opportunities, to make clear how public art is relevant to current conversations and crises, to use more accessible, inclusive, and targeted language in our marketing, outreach, and materials, to host workshops that detail the application process, to launch a social media campaign that emphasizes a "don't come to us, we'll come to you" message, create public art toolkits, partner with the Office of Community Engagement to be neighborhood ambassadors, build mutually beneficial relationships with other city departments, create an improved website experience, and create and launch a comprehensive marketing strategy. Goal 5 is to 1, increase opportunities and decrease red tape for temporary projects. B, increase staff capacity and strategic collaborations for public art. The action items are to 1, conduct an audit of the current process by which regular and temporary projects are approved. Create a rapid response approval process for funding temporary and timely projects. More actively support efforts beyond those that require funding. Explore expanding the budget for temporary projects. Strategically activate the APPC. Explore options to remove non-program related work from the desk of the program manager. Outsource work when necessary, and better leverage the resources within the city. So again, today, the recommended action is for us to discuss goals 4 through 5, to review the successes and roadblocks and things that didn't work out, and discuss items we want to move forward through this fiscal year. And I didn't put it on here, but really it's our public art master plan of moving this forward. So to start, we could start with goal 4, I think.
Okay, so this is a good time for discussion, questions. I know we've got a couple of committee members who are new and we're not part of the process. It might be good for us to talk a little bit, those of us who were there, who lived through this, about the process. One thing I'm going to mention, and I just think it's important to acknowledge, is that we worked on this strategic plan for public art back in 2020, 21. We were coming out of the pandemic. There was a very clear challenge we were looking at in terms of engagement with the public. I think a lot of what the public art committee's work was prior to COVID was it was connected to the community. We were able to run review processes and have community meetings and town halls, and everything was in person. And that all shifted in 2020 and 2021. And this plan came out of that period. It also comes out of a period where we were very conscious of diversity, equity, and inclusion practices. We went through a whole training. A lot of our language is reflective of that. And the connection to the community, I think we felt was really important. I think we still do, but we are functioning now in a political climate nationally that discourages or downright makes illegal DEI and some of these concepts that we felt were really important to integrate into our work. The big project that actually happened early in this strategic plan was the Unum sculpture in Old Courthouse Square. That's a project that I think we to a certain degree, we suffered through the challenges of the project because it was almost all done virtually. And yet it was supposed to really connect to the community and be about the inclusion and hearing as many voices from the community as possible. And we discovered that it was really hard to do that without having in-person meetings. We ran into some snags and roadblocks. Staff and the committee at the time, I think, responded to some of the problems and criticisms and came through it relatively unscathed, although there were a couple of Press Democrat and other articles that, you know, exist. But we managed to get that project done. And I still think it's a really good public, you know, piece of public art that's reflective of the cultures and languages in the city. So maybe looking now at the bullet points.
And one thing I do
Yeah.
want to mention is being here for a year, diving into this. I do think that we are working on a lot of these items. I hate doing something just to check a box because it's in a plan. I want to make sure we're doing it for a reason and we believe in it. And I think a lot of these items we do, the Arts Roundtable, which will be coming up in October, which I'll speak about later. We'll work on a lot of these different opportunities for us with the don't come to us, we'll come to you. Maximizing outreach opportunities. We are utilizing a lot more communication tools within the city of Santa Rosa. So as I go through these items, as I'm working on my report out, I am noting a lot of this is already being carried forward, and by the end of the year, we'll have really started to implement more. But like the Unum sculpture, that's a great example. That wasn't even as much on my radar as part of the strategic plan. So it's good for me to be learning everything that's gone on so I can include it. And then also we did have a lot of roadblocks, right? We had a big, large staff turnover during some time. And so that will also be noted as, you know, as when we're trying to accomplish these projects. Sometimes it can be pretty hard to do.
Yeah, thank you. I'll also mention, without specifically looking at any of the bullet points, but there was a very there was a noble attempt to create subcommittees. And over a period of, I don't know, you guys, like 2, 3, 4 years, we were trying to get community engagement, diversity, these various,
Equity, inclusive.
these various subcommittees to be engaged in and to work. I think ultimately we found it cumbersome and confusing, and we sort of disbanded that, but I think it.
That kind of like muddied the intent of what we were doing.
Right, so a lot of what we got bogged down in was our working process rather than actually focusing on what the goals were. And so I think it's, in a certain sense, it's natural and understandable for us to be at this point now as we look back and then look forward, that a lot of these things, as you just, I think so correctly referred to, Meredith, that we're carrying a lot of this forward. And I think it's a good opportunity now to look at what we were trying to accomplish and to try to assess whether it rings true now. Like one of the things, is it in the, like the partner with the Office of Community Engagement, they disbanded that department. The city doesn't have it any longer. And so, you know, we have to kind of rethink who our partners are.
Well, and just, you know, Anna was a community engagement manager that was here before. So while there is disbanding of some departments, and from my knowledge from being here for a year, we do partner quite a bit and more frequently than from what sounds like has in the past with all of the other departments, such as water and fire and, you know, et cetera. And we're really supportive of that, of being involved throughout the process on all different departments.
Yeah.
So I would encourage, well, just thinking forward about revising that language so that it's not only thinking about working with community improvement and the CAB but also thinking about partnerships with Public Works. And
Mhm.
that has been great success in the last year. So
Mhm.
I want
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
Yeah,
just
good.
echo that momentum.
Okay, other comments or questions?
I recall there was an emphasis on to create a public art toolkit. And that was to be used as something to go out to the public and to engage with the public with that toolkit. I just remember everybody on the committee at that time really pushing for that. But the details of it, I'm still not clear. And I know with all of these action items, there is a protocol, procedures that we must follow. And I think we were kind of lost in that, and we needed to know that before we could move forward. And that that wasn't clear.
And I did bring that forward at some point many months ago here to the committee to
You did.
discuss. And a public art toolkit is one of the items somewhere in the strategic plan, and maybe it be an action item specific. It talked about being a hub for resources that aren't actually within the city itself. So, and we discussed that, well, that's Creative Sonoma, and Creative Sonoma has the resource of artists and everyone. And so once you start choosing, you have to choose everyone. And so we have to look at what do we do for the community, and we have our toolkit of our public art policy. Our public art master plan is really our toolkit where it reviews the entire selection process, et cetera. We have our public art from private development ordinance. So on my list has been to work on a flow chart, something, even a one-page PDF or a hand rack card for community members to say, what does our process look like and what are the tools that we offer? I think a toolkit, it sounds a lot more robust than I think we may need to get. I'd be more than happy to bring that as its own agenda item again, so we could further discuss if wanted.
And it would be
Ideas.
great to have, even, I think, like you just said, like a one-page outline when we go out to the community with the Arts Roundtable, to just say, here's an outline of how the public art process works. It's on the website. If you want a flyer with it, here it is.
And
But-
especially because we have our public art proposal form now and not sort of tied that toolkit, in my mind at least, sort of together of how do I apply for art? You can go here and step by step answer these questions.
Yeah, and we should acknowledge that application form, the process that's on the website is a big improvement. And so that's something that that got done. Yay.
Lisa, did you want me to bring that forward to the toolkit conversation
Yeah,
to
that would be
APPC
great.
so we could dive a little further into that again?
Yeah, let's do that.
Me too.
Thank you, Lisa.
I think a big part of that toolkit in my mind was the application that we now have on the website. And so reframing some of that terminology
It was.
is really helpful for how we think about, okay, what our purview is and what our process is. So understanding that flow chart is
Okay.
also very useful.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank you, Meredith.
I'm going to suggest we move on to goal 5 and take
Okay.
a quick look at that, and then we can wrap this up.
Unless you have something.
It's really for your feedback and discussion on those.
So increase opportunities and decrease red tape for temporary projects. I have an impression that that was generally accomplished.
Yeah.
I think we've got, like with the Art Walk project,
It's still taking a little longer than I wanted because it's been a year. But yes, I agree. And so going through that process of temporary projects, internally, we're looking at ways to improve and streamline our processes. And then again, having the public art proposal form for community members, it's always an open call. If you do have an idea, you can submit, and then we can help you through those questions and they could also seek funding for it.
Yeah.
So I think just opening that up to community members feels a little freeing, I would think, for them as an
Yeah.
artist to do.
yeah, so that seems pretty good. Increase staff capacity. Not sure that I feel like the staff turned over but I'm not sure if the capacity increased.
Street, which number is that?
I think for the
B.
person that
Oh,
was, in-
B, okay.
yeah, that was in Meredith's department was limited because they had her doing other things too besides just the art resource. So increased staff was to help her
Yeah,
in furthering what she needed to do for the public art.
APBC.
And we do, in my update, we've closed our internship and we're interviewing this month for a
Great.
public art intern.
Good.
And we've just opened up a full-time position as an arts and events specialist.
Great.
So that will be.
Okay, so that's addressing.
Yes, so we are working
Good.
on increasing the staff capacity. My role, coming into this new a year ago, I didn't want to hire right on because I wanted to really understand what the need was first. And you've got to dive in and understand what projects you could use help with, what can I do on my own, because it is the public art fund. So I want to ensure that we're using it appropriately.
Yeah, good. And the strategic collaborations, I feel like there's been some progress in that realm. And it feels like we did a pretty good audit or at least assessment of the process.
And I have done an audit of the permanent art collection. And we are working on that map, which will be one of the projects that intern will write on and hopefully complete for us. And we've also done an audit of all art related events in the area. So all of that will be in my report. So when we are looking at approving or disapproving projects, we want to ensure the equity of the placement of the art across our community.
Is that intended for your report to be published on our website, or is that?
I'm not sure if I'll publish it on the website. It would be an agenda attachment to start at least. So we'll review it and I review it probably with the Economic Development Subcommittee, et cetera, on what we've accomplished.
Sure.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Anybody have any other comments or questions on any of the bullet points or anything related to goal 5? Great. This is information only, so it does not go to a vote.
The chair can handle that.
We can entertain public comments if there's anybody.
I'd love to talk, you guys.
Okay.
Thank you for all of your presentations today. And I just want to say that I'm a Payne, been a longtime resident of Santa Rosa. I know a lot about Santa Rosa. And I've been experienced in a lot of different kinds of things, organizations, boards, etc. That said, I have never felt that there's a more important time to really pay attention to the direction of this city and what you're putting up, what you're showing. And that earlier one, what I would have said if I was really thinking was animation with the not trucks, but something that shows the animation, the life of what we have to offer here. And that's not just the hospitality and entertainment industry. Nancy, I appreciate what you had to say about the mascots. I'd never even thought about that. I think that's really great. And it also punctuates the school situation and the losing of many of the schools that we lost in the county. So I just think that it's real important to think about the imagery that you put up anywhere in the city, whether it's a sign or I was telling Jack about the roads being over the freeway when you drive south to San Francisco. Are any of you familiar with that? The roads, yeah, I hadn't seen it and I just loved it. I thought it was beautiful. And it's really subtle, but it's beautiful and it says something about us. So I just wanted to make that comment that I think it's really important. And all of you are making super important decisions about the city. And it's not just the art, it's the thinking that's going to come along with it and the development of where the city's going.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Steve Rabinowitz, used to be a member of this committee. So that year of being on the city council, which was a long time ago, 2008, I championed the 1% for Art proposal and got a 4-3 vote. Council wasn't easy. I helped start the Prince Memorial Greenway. starting in the 90s. And I have seen it envisioned as a place of beauty and a place for the public. It used to be fenced off and just concrete and no paths. So we've done a lot to improve it, spent over $20 million over the years. And public art has been always a very, very basic component of the Greenway. The art, starting with our beautiful ceramic fish by Mario Uribe, and the Art Start projects and paintings, and it's just a place. We've had art walks there. Over the years, it has suffered from isolation. People don't always feel safe there, but it has evolved. And there is now a group called the Friends of the Prince Memorial Greenway. I'm not the leader, but I'm there at the meetings, and it's a wonderful group. And Meredith has actually come and joined us on a walk and been very helpful to us, and I appreciate that. And I think she's actually helped do a little work over there too. So anyway, thank you, Meredith. So we really need to establish a partnership. We have a very willing group of volunteers, some from the arts community, still Mario and folks involved in the art. And we're wanting to really make it a place, again, that people feel comfortable. There's cleanup crews there. We've involved the police. We've worked with the Hyatt Hotel, and now we're going to work with a cannery project, but just got built. So we're trying to become a kind of a community organization more and more. So I'm here. I don't have a particular ask, but I'm here really to tell you that we're really willing to work with you. You're going to find a willing group of volunteers. They're there every day doing work. There have been a couple of projects to clean up murals and the mosaic, the dragon mosaic. But there's more to be done. We'd love it to be again an art walk. We'd love to be a host for temporary artwork. We have a project right now we're proposing, which we got a CAB grant for, similar to the one you just talked about, for a redo of the plaza area with mosaics. And we're working to try to see how we can get that through the process. And so we're also interested in other projects. There's a mural that has been kind of devastated by very inadequate, I wouldn't even call it restoration, I think it was graffiti removal. So things we'd like to do to work on the art that's there now as well. So I just want to mention that. We'd be happy to show you what we have. Meredith's been out there. And I'd love to let you see for yourselves. I'm around, and we'd be happy to give you a tour of the artwork and to talk about future steps.
Great. Thank you,
Thank you.
Steve.
Steve, if we want to reach out to you, does Meredith have your information to, okay.
Yeah,
Do that? Great. Okay,
Great.
thank you.
thank you.
Very good.
And thank you for all your work.
It's a work of, like you all, you feel good about what you're doing. So thank you.
Great. Okay, really good. Okay, any other discussion about the strategic plan? Okay, hearing none, we're going to close this particular item and move on to item 8.3, the fiscal year 25-26 work plan. Meredith. Oh, by the way, before we move ahead on this, I just want to mention I am going to be highly motivated to adjourn this meeting in no later than 15 minutes because I have to run to another meeting that starts at 5.
Noted.
Let me just check, maybe I do need. See, here I am.
Highly motivated.
Here we go. Okay. Sure. All right. Well, today we will be reviewing the annual work plan for this fiscal year, which we're already in because I unfortunately missed other meetings. So some of these are already in the works that have been approved. And as I review this, I'll go through some of the items that I think will be up for discussion also at later meetings, and you'll see a to be determined in some expenditure plan because some could be some more robust budgets that I'm not going to be seeking approval on today. First, we have the temporary art walk, which the installs are starting to happen this Thursday, and I'll going through October.
Yay.
So that's really exciting, and I'll review that on my update. This fiscal year, I expect to spend 55,000. That's where the artists are receiving 3,000 upon install, and then they're receiving 2,000 on deinstall. So that will come from our budget in 2027. That we also, if you recall, had some budget for a map, brochures, the concrete pads, labor. Some of that also spilled over from Earthbound that we did in April. We had 2 pads poured, so I think we'll actually possibly save a little bit there. So being my first go around with this here, I think we're sticking on budget with that, so that's pretty exciting, and we may have a little remaining. But don't quote me on that. Arts Roundtable. This will be starting in October 24th, which is a Friday from 5 to 7 at Santa Rosa Arts Center. And that will go again in my next update. We're looking at planning this quarterly. Jeff and Kristen sit on the volunteer committee for this. My recommendation for this is we set aside 5,000 this year, as we would be looking at printing some materials, some area maps as we dive into these community meetings on basic likes and dislikes of public art in their area, art events in their area. What do they want to see from us? I think this will be a really good continuation of our strategic plan moving forward. Not only do what we think the community wants, but actually gathering what the community wants as we move this forward into our master plan update, ideally. We've had Live at Juilliard that just closed out. Costs are rising a bit for sound and stage, et cetera. We do have a cultural events budget, which will most likely add some more to next year. This year we did have to pull a little bit from the arts fund for bands. So I'd like to make sure we have a bit of a buffer, because as we said, music is a wonderful art, and this is such a great community asset that we offer every summer. For marketing and outreach, I'm looking at, by the end of the year, having our art walk map, an art merchanting guide on how businesses can get involved with the arts, particularly downtown where the art walk will be, encouraging them to whether host artist talks, get active on social media. So it will just be a brochure we'll be handing new businesses as we work with them. An art and sustainability practices guide. We've been working a lot closer with the water department just on different projects in general. And through that, it's becoming more to my knowledge on how important that aspect of art is. And so if we can help artists out with a guide on doing work in Santa Rosa that's sustainable practices, I think would be nice. We have our rack cards for printing, and then also upping our social media marketing budget as well. I'm looking into the art walk for some advertising on the Smart Train also. We'll have the art mapping project. So as mentioned before, we are working on hiring an intern, and this will be the first part of their project. I have everything ready to go, and just need the final information regarding the artists. And then they could help me with some possible photography. And then I'd also like to do some art identification plaques for all of the art pieces. $10,000 may actually be under budget for that, but I think that also gives us a start to look at some consistency of all of our marketing and plaques for each artwork that is in our permanent collection with a QR code on it. This fiscal year, I'd love to dive into different program initiatives. On last year's plan, I talked about art and parks and different grants and opportunities. Those are things we did not get to. We did apply for a grant with the Imaginus actually for outdoor theater, but we didn't get, we did a letter of intent, didn't get to move forward with that. So we are always exploring different opportunities. And then also looking at what type of placemaking art projects would we like to take on in this next year or larger projects in the future. Maintenance, as Stephen mentioned, you know, there's a lot of different maintenance opportunities, I guess you could call it. We have 82 pieces in our collection and I want to ensure that we are maintaining them well. So whether that's us going out and doing the anti-graffiti coating or looking at doing an RFP for a maintenance provider, we used to have that. If we did do an RFP for a maintenance provider, that would be a larger budget. But if we do a cap every year of what they can do, that could be potential for us. Because I do want to ensure we're taking care of our collection. We do have the staff costs of the intern. And then we have the consultant, which will now be the arts and events specialist position full-time that is open, and I'll review that in my update. And that comes out of our public art fund. And then this year, I'd also like to dive into a master plan update. So we've got these next couple of months of the art walk. We've got the National Arts Program, which takes up a lot of time as well. And then tying up the strategic plan, moving that into opening up an RFP for a consultant to help us with the master plan update. You know, those can cost quite a bit. It can cost up to 100,000 sometimes for these consultants. So that would be a further review of our budget and where we're at, depending on the fees we've collected this year. So we can also be smart using our money wisely on that. But the master plan is pretty out of date when you start reading it. And I think that would be a really nice step forward for us. Again, that would have to come back to you with any funds attached to it. And then we always have a conference and training budget of 3,000, which hasn't been used much, but there is an American Further Art Conference. So depending on speakers, I may attend and take a look at that. So the total for this fiscal year would be 157,100. Below, and I'll go over the ongoing projects in a second. Below, you'll see we have basically 4 funds in our department and how they're funded. This last year, we made 110,000 approximately of from the public art and private development fees. And that's where the majority of our public art funds come from to do these projects. Right now, we have an available balance of about 516,000. And that's minus the encumbrances, right? The encumbrances consist of the Rosa panel project. That does not currently include the 75,000 that was approved to also move forward to the panel pouring. So we have to start thinking of that through what's available. We did have that 50,000 approved for the pedestrian overcrossing, and that hasn't been encumbered. So as we start to look at, and I'll probably bring it as its own agenda item of like big picture projects, maybe as its own discussion item, because instead of just going and saying yes to projects, we really want to start to think about what's our next big project that we're talking about. And I could bring the map of where the current art is, et cetera, so we could review that together. And we do have quite a bit of ongoing projects right now. So I will open that up for questions and discussion for approval.
Great, Meredith. Thank you. Looks good. Actually, I might want to talk to you about the Americans for the Arts Conference.
Yeah.
I was just trying to see if there was a deadline for proposals for presentations. I think we should.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
We should think about something. Anyway, okay. Anybody have any questions or comments, any discussion about the plan?
Could you slide down on your screen just a little bit? I want to see those TBD numbers again.
It was for program initiatives, so that would be any larger, art and parks or any placemaking projects. And then it would be our public art master plan update. Because I'd still need to put that report together. And then after that, we could look at what type of cost would we want to offer a consultant to help us update our current master plan.
Would you remind us the timing for that? When is it a goal to have the new master plan prepared?
Oh, that takes some time. So my personal goal is to have the strategic plan report by the beginning of next year. So ideally, the intern can help them with a mapping project and then putting that report together. And that report is me gathering data from everyone of what's happened. Sure, it could look pretty, but I want to ensure it accurately reflects what's happened and what we want to move forward. And then the RFP, let's say we could go live with that in March or April next year, but by the time you hire someone on, we're not looking at working with them probably until 2027. So it's some time. So I'd like to sort of get ahead by even putting it as that, planting that seed now, that if everyone thinks that's the direct way forward, I would personally, I think that would be beneficial to us to update.
Thank you
Good.
for overview of the time.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions or comments? Great, thank you, Meredith. Looks good. Public comments?
Yes. Fantastic, Meredith. I think she is doing a wonderful job and so little money. And I wonder, are the committees, I'm new to the city this year. I've been with, the county for a long time, but following them and having a husband who's a civil engineer there for 17 years. Can this board or this committee have, or does it have a foundation?
No. No.
Is that something that, because there are things that have foundations, and I think there's an opportunity that could have a foundation. But I don't know where to start with it. Would you? I know that's
talk after.
but I think a foundation, and he was talking about partnering. And that's the kind of thing with the foundation for the art that would generate more money for a lot of projects.
So we are a city commission, and that is different than, let's say, a nonprofit organization, but I recommend that you talk to Meredith after the meeting and you can explore that.
Well, I know there's other things that have foundations, that's why I asked.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I think that's it for a discussion on that item. Meredith, great work. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think we are on to our.
Meredith, you were gonna
We
go,
needed to
we're
approve
going
that.
to talk about the ongoing projects.
Well, we're up to arts and culture update.
So-
number
She's been having her
8.4.
update.
We did agendize 8.3 with the
Approve.
recommended action of approval. So we would need a motion to approve.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. Okay,
Lisa, I wanted to review the ongoing projects item here as well. Thank you.
okay.
Is that part
okay.
of your
Well,
update?
yeah, that's right.
Sorry about that.
It was on the second.
It was on the
Yeah.
sheet.
Yeah,
So
please go
fire,
ahead.
Fire Station 5, that's a separate funding source. However, I have a call with them tomorrow morning. The foundation is being poured for the artwork. They've been working on the fire station. The artwork's in the fabrication stage. So I'd expect that to be installed possibly the end of the year, beginning of next, depending, weather dependent as well. The pedestrian overcrossing I've heard has now been moved forward, so I will reach out to them regarding that. I didn't receive an email about that. I just heard that, so again, I could be wrong on that. So I will keep you updated, but there hasn't been any forward movement on my end on that. The Asawa panels, I just received the final, we're pouring the Santa Rosa panel first, and I received that actually this morning, the entire panel to approve to start the pouring. So they're in contract, and the first panel is going to be the Santa Rosa panel. So that way we could possibly figure out a temporary display for that. So that's very exciting. And we will be going down there to get some video and photos, et cetera, once this is going. The Colgan Creek mural, we just opened up the RFP. So if you recall, the amendment to the bill, SB 456, put projects on hold because muralists were being required to have a contractor's license. So while that still hasn't passed, it's just one more step away from approval. So we felt it was okay to move forward with the RFP for the artists. And they each receive $500 for their concept. If that bill hasn't passed, the RFP is due in November. We will address that then, but we didn't want to hold off from receiving those designs. The Brookwood mural, we're still waiting on some information in order to execute their contract. And the Garage 9 mural, we are expected that's the Redwood Chinese Empire, right on the side of the garage here that was approved. And Chris McKee is an artist that's volunteering. He's expected to install that sometime in October.
That's the project that Judy Kennedy was attached to originally?
Mhm.
Okay.
And then I also didn't add on here, we have the National Arts Program, and then the exhibitions at Finley that are always ongoing projects too.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, any questions or discussions? Okay, great. I would entertain a motion to approve the fiscal year 25-26 annual work and expenditure plan. Anybody?
I second.
Well, we need somebody to make the motion.
Oh, I so make the motion.
Okay, let's move by Kristen to approve the annual work and expenditure plan. Do I hear a second? Nancy, thank you. Okay, any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, let's vote.
Alrighty, Committee Member Trejo Vasquez,
Aye.
Committee Member Puentes,
Aye.
Committee Member Peters,
Aye.
Vice Chair Kiefer,
Aye.
Chair Nathanson.
Aye.
Let the record reflect that the motion passes unanimously.
Great. Okay, we're gonna move on to item 8.4. I'm 5 minutes away from the meeting location I'm going to, which is great. So I've got 5 minutes, and if I do have to scoot out, I'll hand the gavel over to Kristen. Thank you, Jack, for that. Okay, Meredith, arts and culture update.
So today I'll present with you just an overview of things, the happenings of the program, and it's just an information only. We had a very successful Live at Juilliard 30th anniversary this year. This was my second year working it, and we did the Art in Public Places booth. And it was really awesome to receive feedback regarding not only our program, the marketing efforts, but the diversity of the bands was one that I got a lot of positive feedback on. And attending all but two, I loved it. My daughter absolutely loved it too. So it was nice to be able to introduce her to different types of music. So I could only imagine what the community members felt. So if you go on our website, you'll see a video and photography by Tom Rivas and Jack Wonderly. Tom is actually a city staff that's been helping out with some of this, and he's doing a really awesome job. The art walk, as mentioned, the installs are starting this Thursday, which is very exciting. And we've got, I believe, 2 or 3 in September, and then the majority will be October. We've stuck pretty close to plan, maybe a few months, a little extended, but I always expect that too. So we'll have 9 artworks, and I'm working on the brochure, map, etc. We'll be working on art walk plaques that will have a QR code to scan it. So I'd expect a little more of an update on this with the maps in October, most likely, if not November. And this will be something we can obviously bring to our Arts Roundtable as well. A couple other things, we've added a newsletter sign up on our website. So if anyone wants to get involved and community members, we do have some email lists that we've pulled from to give communications, but my goal is to do more of a quarterly email out to community members. So if anyone's interested, of your friends, let them know they can sign up for news. We have the first Arts Roundtable that will be at Santa Rosa Arts Center on October 24th, and this is from 5 to 7 p.m. Jeff and Kristen have been helping out, volunteering their time to help me put this together. On October 24th, we could use some volunteers to help set up, break down. I believe Kristen will be able to make it. So if you are interested in volunteering that day, let me know. It'll be exciting, a kickoff to this, and really gathering community feedback and input, especially as we start discussing a master plan update. Film Santa Rosa. So we have been contacted actually by a couple filmmakers, and it's opened up this whole new arena to me on filming in Santa Rosa and what it entails and how we actually could be more welcoming and encouraging for filmmakers. So this month, it should be live on our arts and culture page of Film Santa Rosa page on, contacting us if they've got questions, if they need resources, a little film history of Santa Rosa. We have partnered with Bay Area Film Mixer, and they will be hosting their a film mixer in Santa Rosa in February, and that date is to be determined. And we've been meeting with Visit Santa Rosa, Sonoma County Tourism on this initiative.
Excuse me, I'm sorry that I do have to leave Kristen as the chair.
We'll miss
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you, Meredith.
Yeah.
It's a great report so far.
Thank you very much.
So Film Santa Rosa, I'm really excited about, and I think that I know I'll be bringing back an update on that most likely October, November with some more secure dates and what that program looks like. The National Arts Program will be opening up applications in October. I'll send an email out to all of you actually, I'll probably bring it to the October meeting on those dates, et cetera. And those will be due in January, most likely. Still haven't set the exact dates, but another exciting year. This year, I'd really like to get more schools involved. I think last year we may have only had 15 or so kids participate. And I think we could really actually get that a lot higher. So I would love to do that this year. The Colgan Creek mural and Brookwood mural gave an update on the last slide, but both of those are in the works still. The art intern position is closed, and then our arts and events specialist position is open and closes on September 18th. That is my update for today.
Great. Thank you, Meredith. I'm acting in Jeff's stead at this point and want to see if there's any questions or comments from our committee members. Thank you so much for giving us an update about what to look forward to next. I appreciated hearing the ongoing projects update as well. Very exciting to hear about the Asawa panel pouring, and we'll stay in touch. Do you want to give a next shout out for our next meeting will be on October.
We could just call public comment for
Oh, sorry.
for that one there.
Thanks, Jack. First, we're going to call public comment for the arts and culture update. Do we have it?
Thank you. I think the staff did a great job today too. I'm really glad I came today. It wasn't my favorite thing today to do, but I'm glad I made it, and welcome to the new board or commission. It was really nice to come today and to get all the information and all the update is fabulous. Glad.
Great, thank you. Now that we've had public comment, this was an information only item, so there's no action from our committee. We can move on to our next item, 9 committee reports. Do any committee members have any announcements for events or programs? Seeing none at this time, we'll stay tuned to our resources. Thanks, Meredith. And then item number 10 is adjournment. I did want to give out a shout out for our next meeting. I don't see it listed on our agenda. October 6th is our next meeting, so I will see everyone there. Thank you for your time today.
Nice. Thanks.